Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hello everyone. I welcome you all to my next episode in the learn few practical models. So here we discuss about liquidation of companies, how companies get liquidated, what are the procedures involved in liquidation of companies, and what are the statements we prepare. So we will be studying the meaning of liquidation, how the company is liquidated or wound up, what are the steps involved in winding up process, what are the different modes of winding up, where it includes voluntary winding up of a company, and what role does the liquidator play. We will also study the important topic here, liquidator's final statement. So this is the question you will get for 12 marks, section C. So you will have to prepare liquidator's final statement. You will be studying how to prepare liquidator's final statement. So what do you mean by liquidation? Liquidation is the process in which the company's existence is brought to an end. The company will be closed permanently. Now normally in India, we don't talk about company closing permanently. Only in the extreme situations, the companies will be closed permanently. Otherwise, the Indian government or Indian mentality always thinks about people will come, people will go, and the company will remain forever. But in the rarest of the rare cases, if extreme cases, the company may have to be closed permanently. So when it is closing permanently, it is called as liquidation. The company's affairs are wound up, are closed, and its name is removed from the register of the register of the companies. So the closure fact is published in the official gazette. We will be publishing it that this company is being closed permanently. Now, how do you wind up the company? And when do you, which are the acts which are responsible for winding up the company? If it is wound up because it is not able to pay its debts, ಮಾಡಿರೋಂಥ ಸಾಲನೆಲ್ಲ ತೀರಿಸ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ಅಂಥ ಕಂಪ್ನಿಗಳೇನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಮುಚ್ಚೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಈಗ ಕಿಂಗ್ ಫಿಶರ್ ಕಂಪನಿ ಹಾಗೆ ಆಯಿತು. ಕಂಪನಿ ಓನರ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡವರು ದೇಶ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಓಡಿ ಹೋದರು ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು. ಸೊ ಅನುಭವಿಸಿದ ಯಾರು? ಶೇರ್ ಹೋಲ್ಡರ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಇಫ್ ದಿ ಕಂಪನಿ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಏಬಲ್ ಟು ಪೇ ಡೆಟ್ಸ್, ಸಾಲ ತೀರಿಸ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೂ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಕಂಪನಿ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಡೌನ್, ಕಂಪನಿನ ಮುಚ್ಚಿಬಿಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅವಾಗ? ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಗವರ್ನ್ಡ್ ಬೈ ಇನ್ಸಾಲ್ವೆನ್ಸಿ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ರಪ್ಟಸಿ ಕೋಡ್. ಸೊ ICB 2016. So this will be IBC, sorry, this will be applicable. Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code 2016 will be applicable if it is wound up because of inability to pay debts. Then ಇನ್ನೇನಕ್ಕೆ ಅದು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಇನ್ನೇನಾದರೂ ರೀಸನ್ ಇದ್ದರೆ it will be governed by Companies Act 2013 or 2019 latest. Voluntary winding up ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, it is governed by Companies Act 2013. After 2017 it is governed by ಇದು ಮೂವ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಕಂಪನೀಸ್ ಆಕ್ಟ್ ಇಂದ ದೇ ಶಿಫ್ಟೆಡ್ ಇಟ್ ಟು ಇನ್ಸಾಲ್ವೆನ್ಸಿ ಅಂಡ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ರಪ್ಟಸಿ ಕೋಡ್. ಸೊ ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್ 59 talks about voluntary winding up of the company. So section 59 of Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code 2016. So this one talks about voluntary winding up of the company. Now, how do you wind up the company? You can wind up the company by the tribunal. As per section 270, the procedure can be initiated either by tribunal or it can be wound up voluntarily. So if it is wound up by the tribunal, ಹೇಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು? We do it with the help of by passing a special resolution in the meeting. ಒಂದು ರೆಸಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಆಗಲೇಬೇಕು. ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ? ಇಫ್ ದಿ ಫಿನಾನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಆನ್ಯುವಲ್ ರಿಟರ್ನ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ 5 consecutive years ಫೈಲ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ, ಕಂಪನಿ 5 ವರ್ಷ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗಿ, 2-3 ವರ್ಷದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೇಳಲ್ಲ ಅವರು, ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗಿ 5 ವರ್ಷ ರಿಟರ್ನ್ಸೇ ಫೈಲ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ದ ಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯುನಲ್ ವಿಲ್ ಟೇಕ್ ಅ ಡಿಸಿಷನ್ ದಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ಕಂಪನಿ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಫೈಲ್ಡ್ ರಿಟರ್ನ್, ಸೊ ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಪರ್ಮನೆಂಟ್ಲಿ. ಅಕಸ್ಮಾತ್ ಫ್ರಾಡುಲೆಂಟ್ ಆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟೀಸ್ ಏನಾದರೂ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ, ದೋಸ್ ಆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟೀಸ್ ವಿಚ್ ಆರ್ ಅಗೇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಲಾ, ಇಂಥದ್ದೇನಾದರೂ ಮಾಡಿದವಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ದ ಕಂಪನಿ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ವೌಂಡ್ ಅಪ್ ಪರ್ಮನೆಂಟ್ಲಿ. ಅಥವಾ acting against the interest of the interest or morality of India country against ಏನಾದರೂ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಕಂಪನೀಸ್ ಅಂತ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಕಂಪನಿ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ wound up. ಅಥವಾ if the tribunal finds that ಇಂಥ ಕಂಪನಿ ಇರೋದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುಚ್ಚಿದ್ರೇ ವಾಸಿ ಅಂತ ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ then such company also will be wound up by the tribunal. ಹೇಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ? It will be filed in prescribed form, then 3 sets. These are the procedure, according to section 272. It can be presented by the company, by the company or by the creditors or any contributory. ಯಾರ್ಯಾರು ಫೈಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ಅಂತ, ಅಥವಾ any central or state government or any person who is authorized by the central government. So this tribunal has powers to dismiss the petition or to make an interim order or to appoint a provisional liquidator until the winding up order is passed. ವಾಲಂಟ್ರಿ ವೈಂಡಿಂಗ್, ಇದು ಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯುನಲ್ ವೈಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಅಪ್. ಈಗ ವಾಲಂಟ್ರಿ ವೈಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಅಪ್ ಏನಕ್ಕೆ? ಕಂಪನಿ ಅವರವರಾಗೆ ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ದಟ್ ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ದಿ ಕಂಪನಿ. ಯಾವಾಗ ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ? ಈಗ ಸೇ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಇಫ್ ದಿ ಕಂಪನಿ ಇಸ್ ಸಫರಿಂಗ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಲಾಸಸ್ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಸ್ಲಿ, ಅವಾಗ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅವರು? ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಗೋ ಇನ್ ಫಾರ್ internal reconstruction. Internal reconstruction ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ they will go in for external reconstruction or they will go in for amalgamation or acquisition. ಇದು ಯಾವುದು ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? The company will voluntarily decide that they have to close down permanently. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? The powers get shifted from official liquidator to insolvency professional. So jurisdictional authority is also shifted from High Court to NCLT. Timeline is 12 months from the process of completion. So members voluntary winding up ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? You have to pass a special resolution. ಮತ್ತೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? expiry of ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು? ಅಕಸ್ಮಾತ್ ಈಗ ನಾವು ಆರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಸೋಸಿಯೇಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಷ್ಟೇ ವರ್ಷ ಕಂಪನಿ ಶುರು ಆಗಿರಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿರ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಆ ಡ್ಯೂರೇಷನ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೈರ್ ಆದಾಗಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ದ ಕಂಪನಿ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ wound up voluntarily. How does the voluntary process begin? Section 59 of the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code IBC 2016 says clearly that you should pass a board meeting. You should conduct a general meeting of shareholders. You should file with ROC and IBBI, and then you should make a public announcement. Then you should declare the solvency. You should appoint a liquidator. Then preliminary report ಕೊಡ್ತಾನೆ liquidator. Then realization and disclosure and dissolution of the company. So if you are going in order, board meeting ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಡಿಕ್ಲೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಇನ್ಸಾಲ್ವೆನ್ಸಿ ಇಂದ, ಜನರಲ್ ಮೀಟಿಂಗ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಶೇರ್ ಹೋಲ್ಡರ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸೇರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ? ಒಂದು ಲಿಕ್ವಿಡೇಟರ್ನ ಅಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ದೆನ್ ವಿ ಫೈಲ್ ವಿತ್ ROC ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ IBBI. ಪ್ರಿಲಿಮಿನರಿ ರಿಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾನೆ ಲಿಕ್ವಿಡೇಟರ್ ಅವ್ರು ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ ಅನೌನ್ಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ದೆನ್ ಕಂಪನಿ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಲಿಕ್ವಿಡೇಟೆಡ್. ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದಿ ರೋಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಲಿಕ್ವಿಡೇಟರ್? He or she is responsible to take the custody of the property, actionable claims and make payments as per Companies Act. ಏನು ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಲಿಕ್ವಿಡೇಟರ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆಗಿ ಯಾವ ಆರ್ಡರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪೇ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದು ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆಗಿ ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ಲಿ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಯಾಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಲಿಕ್ವಿಡೇಟರ್ಸ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ಆ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ನ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಡನ್ ವಿತ್ ದಿಸ್ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ. So this is the liquidator's final statement. Now remember, this is not an account, ledger account alla, debit to credit ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ. It is a statement. So ನೀವು 2/2 ಎಲ್ಲ ಬರೆಯೋದು ಬೇಡ, ಡೆಬಿಟ್ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬರೆಯೋದು ಬೇಡ. Then this is like a cash book, ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ತರ. ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಬುಕ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ದುಡ್ಡು ಬಂದ್ರೆ ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ರಿಸಿಪ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಏನಾದರೂ ಇದ್ರೆ ವಿ ರೈಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಆನ್ ದಿ ಡೆಬಿಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಅಥವಾ ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್. ಸಿನ್ಸ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಅನ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್, ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್, ವಿ ರೈಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಆನ್ ದಿ ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಸೈಡ್. ರಿಸಿಪ್ಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಸೈಡ್. ದುಡ್ಡು ಹೋದರೆ, ಕಂಪನಿಯಿಂದ ದುಡ್ಡು ಹೋದರೆ, ಇಫ್ ಯು ಮೇಕ್ ಎನಿ ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್, ಅವಾಗ ನಾವೇನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ? ವಿ ಮೇಕ್ ದ ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ ಆನ್ ದಿ ರೈಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ಸೊ ಇದೇ ಆರ್ಡ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು. ರಿಸಿಪ್ಟ್ ಆದರೂ ಓಕೆ, ಬಟ್ ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಮಾತ್ರ ಯು ಶುಡ್ ಕಂಪಲ್ಸರಿಲಿ ಡೂ ಇಟ್ ಇನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಆರ್ಡರ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ಫಸ್ಟು ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ ರಿಸಿಪ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಬರುತ್ತೆ? ದುಡ್ಡು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಇರೋ ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಇನ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಮತ್ತು ಬ್ಯಾಂಕಲ್ಲಿರೋ ದುಡ್ಡು, ಅಸೆಟ್ಟಿಂದ ಬಂದಿರೋಂಥ ದುಡ್ಡು, ಎಲ್ಲ ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ಡ್ ಅಸೆಟ್ಸು, ಎಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಟಾಕು, ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಅಸೆಟ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸೆಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರಲ್ವ, ಡಿಸ್ಪೋಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ನಿಮಗೆ ದುಡ್ಡು ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಸೆಟ್ಸ್ ರಿಯಲೈಸ್. ನಾನು ಇನ್ ಜನರಲ್ ಅಸೆಟ್ಸ್ ರಿಯಲೈಸ್ಡ್ ಫುಲ್ ಕಾಂಪ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಹಾಕಿದ್ದೀನಿ. Then surplus realized from secured creditors if any. Surplus ಏನಾದರೂ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದ್ರೆ secured creditors ಇಂದ ಆ surplus ನು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಡೆಬಿಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ತಗೊಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಕಾಲ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಅರಿಯರ್ಸ್ ರಿಸೀವ್ಡ್, ಕಾಲ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಅರಿಯರ್ಸ್ ನೀವು ಕಾಲ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ದುಡ್ಡು ಅವ್ರು ಏನಾದರೂ ಕೊಟ್ಟರೆ ಅದು ಕೂಡ ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಬರಿತೀವಿ. ಮತ್ತು ಎನಿ ಕಾಲ್ ಯು ಮೇಕ್ ಅ ಕಾಲ್, ಪೆಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಕಾಲ್ ಯಾವುದಾದ್ರೂ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ದುಡ್ಡು ಇಸ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಕಾಲ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಅವಾಗ ಕೂಡ ಅದನ್ನು ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಬರ್ತೀವಿ. ಯಾವ ಆರ್ಡ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ? ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಯು ಮೇಕ್ ದ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಪರ್ಸನ್ ಹೂ ಇಸ್ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸಿಬಲ್ ಟು ರಿಸೀವ್ ದಿ ಮನಿ ಇಸ್ secured creditors. Next you have to make the payments with respect to legal charges including liquidation expenses. Third, you have to calculate liquidator's remuneration. Liquidator's remuneration is the remuneration payable to the liquidator for conducting the liquidation process. ಯಾರು ಫ್ರೀ ಆಗಿ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ, so they take some salary, so that remuneration paid to the liquidator is called as liquidator's remuneration. ಮತ್ತೆ ಡಿಬೆಂಚರ್ ಹೋಲ್ಡರ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಏನಾದರೂ ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ ಡ್ಯೂ ಇದ್ದರೆ, ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಏನಾದರೂ ಡ್ಯೂ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಅಥವಾ ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಡಿಬೆಂಚರ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಡ್ಯೂ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ವಾಪಸ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಡಿಬೆಂಚರ್ ಹೋಲ್ಡರ್ಸಿಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟ ಮೇಲೆ ಪ್ರಿಫರೆನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟರ್ಸ್ ದುಡ್ಡು ವಾಪಸ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಪ್ರಿಫರೆನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟರ್ಸ್ ಯಾರ್ಯಾರು ಅಂತ ಆಮೇಲೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ನನ್ನ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟಲ್ಲಿ. ಮತ್ತು ಅನ್ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರ್ಡ್ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟರ್ಸ್ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಆರ್ಡರ್ ಆಫ್ ಪ್ರಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಬರೋದು. ಪ್ರಿಫರೆನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟರ್ಸ್ ಫಿಫ್ತ್ ಒನ್ನು. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರ್ಡ್ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟರ್ಸ್. ಕಾಲ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಅಡ್ವಾನ್ಸ್ ಏನಾದರೂ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಅದು ಕೂಡ ವಾಪಸ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ. ದೆನ್ ಪ್ರಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಶೇರ್ ಹೋಲ್ಡರ್ಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಗೆಟ್ ದೇರ್ ಡ್ಯೂ, ದೇರ್ ಶೇರ್, ಅವ್ರ ದುಡ್ಡು ವಾಪಸ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ದುಡ್ಡಿದ್ರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಇಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೆ ಬರ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು. ಇಲ್ಲಾಂದರೆ ಕೆಲವು ಸಲ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ ದುಡ್ಡು ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಎಂಡ್ ಆಗೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅನ್ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರ್ಡ್ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟರ್ಸ್ಗೆ ದುಡ್ಡು ಕೊಡೋಕ್ಕಿರಲ್ಲ, ಸೊ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆಯೋ ದುಡ್ಡು ಅಷ್ಟನ್ನು ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಅಕಸ್ಮಾತ್ ದುಡ್ಡಿದ್ರೆ ಕಾಲ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಅಡ್ವಾನ್ಸ್. ಅಕಸ್ಮಾತ್ if the money is remaining, if you have any money, then you pay to preference shareholders, you give their dividend due, you make payment towards their capital. If at all, if money any is remaining, the entire money goes to the actual final owners of the company, that is equity shareholders. So once you make the preference share, then if the money is remaining, you make payment to equity shareholders. So this is the order in which you make the payment to liquidate to all the liabilities of your company. After receiving the amount, you will make the payments in this order. So you have to by heart this statement, liquidator's final statement, and do the problem according to this order only. So let's solve this simple problem on liquidation with the format which I mentioned in the previous slide. Luckless Limited went into voluntary liquidation on 31st March 2023 when the state of affairs was as below. Unsecured creditors was 4 lakhs including 50,000 preferential claim. So unsecured creditors 4 lakhs ittu, adralli preferential creditors 50,000 ಇದೆ. Then you have secured creditors of secured on plant and machinery stood at 2 lakhs. So secured creditors plant and machinery ಮೇಲೆ secure ಆಗಿದ್ದು creditors, it is 2 lakhs. Cash in hand was 10,000. So this is the actual position. The liquidator realized plant and machinery for 1,50,000. So plant and machinery ಮೇಲೆ liquidator has realized 1,50,000. ಅದು ರಿಸಿಪ್ಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ದುಡ್ಡು ಬಂದಿರೋದೆಲ್ಲ ರಿಸಿಪ್ಟ್ ಸೈಡ್, ದುಡ್ಡು ಹೋಗಿರೋದೆಲ್ಲ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಕಮ್ ಆನ್ ದಿ ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಯೋರ್ liquidator's final statement. And other assets realized 1 lakh. The liquidation expense came up to 10,000. Liquidator's remuneration was fixed at 4% of the amount realized and including cash balance, and 2% of the amount distributed as unsecured creditors including preferential creditors. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎರಡು ತರ ಕಮಿಷನ್ ಇದೆ ಲಿಕ್ವಿಡೇಟರ್ಗೆ. ಒಂದು, ಲಿಕ್ವಿಡೇಟರ್ is given a commission of 4% on amount realized. ಇದೊಂದು. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಅವನಿಗೆ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ರಿಯಲೈಸ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡಿಂಗ್ ಕ್ಯಾಶ್. Then on next commission 2% on amount given to unsecured creditors including preferential creditors. So this is the information they've given to calculate liquidator's remuneration on whatever conditions they have given in the question. Now first let us see how much amount was realized what was the amount which was realized. So the left side ondsala ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, right side ondsala ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. Finally I will show both left side and right side. So if you are doing amount realized, ಎಷ್ಟು ದುಡ್ಡು ಬಂದಿದೆ, amount realized is nothing but receipts. ಎಷ್ಟು ದುಡ್ಡು ಬಂದಿದೆ, ಈಗ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಏನು ಬಂದಿದೆ, we have opening balance of cash. ಅದನ್ನೇನು ರಿಯಲೈಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಬೇಡ, ಅದು ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ರಿಯಲೈಸ್ಡ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟಲ್ಲೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಇನ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್. ಸೊ ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಇನ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ, ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಇನ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ 10,000. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ರಿಯಲೈಸ್ಡ್ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಮಿಷನರಿ. ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಮಿಷನರಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ರಿಯಲೈಸ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, 1,50,000. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಏನು, ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ರಿಯಲೈಸ್ಡ್ other assets. You have realized other assets of rupees 1 lakh. So total eshtu, total 2,60,000. So 2,60,000 mele, if you are calculating the first commission 4% on amount realized. So first commission calculate ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ 2,60,000 into 4%. So 2,60,000 into 4% will come up to 10,400. So this is the first commission we calculated. So amount realized ide full idishtu mooru left hand side barutte amount realized. So idondu commission calculate ಮಾಡಿದೀವಿ. ಇನ್ನೊಂದು statement ಮಾಡಿದವಾಗಲೇ we will calculate the commission of 2% on amount given to unsecured creditors including preferential creditors. Now let's do payments. So you will follow the order which I mentioned before. First payment ಯಾವ್ದು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ನೀವು, you have to make the first payment with respect to secured creditors. Secured creditors ಎಷ್ಟು, the liquidator secured creditors total ಇರೋದು 2 lakhs. Secured creditors total ಇರೋದು 2 lakhs. ಬಟ್ ನಮಗೆ ರಿಯಲೈಸ್ ಆಗಿರೋದು ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಮಿಷನರಿಯಿಂದ ಬರೀ 1,50,000 ಇದು ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಏನು ರಿಯಲೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಮಿಷನರಿ ವಿ ಗಾಟ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ 1,50,000. ಸೊ ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರ್ಡ್ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟರ್ಸ್ 2 lakh ಇದ್ರೆ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ 1,50,000 ರಿಯಲೈಸ್ ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ ರಿಮೈನಿಂಗ್ 50,000 will be unsecured creditors, will become unsecured creditors, which we will mention later if the money is remaining. So we will only write secured creditors to the extent of the amount which we received. We received only 1,50,000. So 1,50,000 secured creditors. Next, the next order is liquidation expense. Liquidation expense ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ, came up to 10,000. ಮತ್ತೆ the next order is liquidators remuneration. ಎರಡು remuneration ಇದೆ. ಒಂದು remuneration 4% on amount realized. We've already calculated 4% on amount realized. So that had come up to 10,400. Next to 2% on unsecured creditors and preferential creditors. So ಇದು ಆಮೇಲೆ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ. ಲಿಕ್ವಿಡೇಟರ್ಸ್ ರೆಮ್ಯುನರೇಷನ್ ಆದಮೇಲೆ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಪ್ರಿಫರೆನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟರ್ಸ್. ಪ್ರಿಫರೆನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ creditors. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, including 50,000 preferential claim. ಇಲ್ಲಿದೆಲ್ಲ preferential creditors, unsecured creditors was 4 lakhs including 50,000 preferential claim. So 50,000 belongs to preferential creditors. Then next ಮಿಕ್ಕಿದ್ದು ಏನಾದರೂ ದುಡ್ಡು ಉಳಿದಿದ್ರೆ belongs to unsecured creditors. ಅದೆಷ್ಟು ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಅದೆಷ್ಟು ಅಂತ we don't know how much is this amount. So ಇವಾಗ ನಾವೇನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, we have to find out liquidators remuneration of 2%. ಇದನ್ನು ಕಂಡುಹಿಡಿಬೇಕು. We have to find out unsecured creditors, ಇದನ್ನು ಕಂಡುಹಿಡಿಬೇಕು with the help of the given information. So given information ಹೆಂಗೆ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ? So 50,000 is unsecured, ಅದು ಅದರಲ್ಲೇ ಆ್ಯಡ್ ಆಗಿಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ, ಅನ್ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರ್ಡ್ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟರ್ಸಲ್ಲೇ ಆ್ಯಡ್ ಆಗಿಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ ಈ 50,000. ಸೊ ಈಗ ಅದನ್ನು ಹೇಗೆ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ? ಈಗ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ರಿಯಲೈಸ್ಡ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ರಿಯಲೈಸ್ ಆಗಿತ್ತು? If you look at the previous slides, you will know the amount realized. Amount realized is 2,60,000. Amount realized is 2,60,000. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. You have to make payments to calculate the liquidators remuneration. So ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ಪೇಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ? We made a payment of 10,000 towards liquidation expenses. Then we made a payment of, we'll start with 1,50,000. Okay, we made a payment of 1,50,000 towards secured creditors. Then we made a payment of 10,400. Amount realized 2,60,000. So ಇದು ಇನ್ಯಾವುದು 10,400, ಇದನ್ನು ತಗೊಂಡ್ವಿ. ಸೊ ಇವಿಷ್ಟನ್ನು ಮೈನಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ we will not take this because they have asked us to calculate 2% commission on unsecured creditors and preferential creditors. So ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮೈನಸ್ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ for calculating liquidators remuneration. ಅಕಸ್ಮಾತ್ ಇದು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದಿದ್ರೆ, ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ರಿಫರೆನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಟರ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದಿದ್ರೆ, ಆವಾಗ ನಾವೇನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ವಿ, ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟಾಗಿ ಇದನ್ನು ಮೈನಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅದರ ಮೇಲೆ ಕಮಿಷನ್ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ವಿ. ಸೊ ಸಿನ್ಸ್ ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ನಾಟ್ ಗಿವನ್, we will not include 50,000 for calculating liquidators remuneration. So 2,60,000 minus 1,60,000 minus 10,400, you will get 89,600. Now this 89,600 has this also, balancing figure ಕೂಡ ಇದೆ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ, and it also has this ಯಾವುದು 2% commission on unsecured creditors. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ನಾವು we use the formula into rate of commission is 2 divided by percent ಗೆ divided by 100 ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ವಿ. But since it includes both, we take 102. So this is very important for calculating liquidators commission. ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಈ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ತುಂಬಾ ಸುಲಭ ಮಾಡೋದು, ಬಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ this includes both, so we take 2 divided by 102. It is simple mathematics where you calculate the you do cross multiplication. 2 ಗೆ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಇಷ್ಟ ಆದರೆ 102 ಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು 2 ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಮಿಕ್ಕಿದ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸಿಂಗ್ ಫಿಗರ್ ಬರೀತೀವಿ. So 89,600 into 2 divided by 102. So you get a commission of 1757. So ಇದನ್ನ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ ಮೇಲೆ you put that 1757 here. So you calculated 2% commission of 1757. Finally you can write this balancing figure, taking the receipt side and then subtracting all this is ಮಿಕ್ಕಿದ್ದು ದುಡ್ಡು ಫುಲ್ಲು unsecured creditors ತಗೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ. So in the next slide I will show you both receipts and payments which we calculated now. So heading will be liquidators final statement of account. You have to write the name of the company, Luckless Limited. Sparkless Limited year ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ರೆ ಬರೆದು ಬಿಡಿ for 31st March 2023. So this is your liquidator's final statement. Kindly forgive me if my straight line is not straight. So left side you will be taking receipts amount, right side you will be taking payments. Calculate ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೆಲ್ಲ ಈಗ left hand side right hand side ತಗೊಳ್ತೀವಿ. So we start with cash in hand. Cash in hand. Cash in hand ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ ದುಡ್ಡು? You have 10,000. Next to assets realized. You have realized assets from plant and machinery to the extent of 1,50,000. Then other assets of rupees 1 lakh. Right hand side, secured creditors. ಅವರಿಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಕೊಡಬೇಕು? 1 lakh, 2 lakhs ಕೊಡಬೇಕು, ಬಟ್ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಮೆಷಿನರಿಯಿಂದ ರಿಲೈಸ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದು ಬರೀ 1,50,000. ಸೊ ವಿ ಟೇಕ್ 1,50,000. ರಿಮೈನಿಂಗ್ 50,000 becomes unsecured creditors. Then liquidation expenses of 10,000. Then liquidators remuneration, which we calculated before, so there are two types of remuneration. One do 4% on amount realized. So ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ರಿಯಲೈಸ್ಡ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮೂರದ್ದು ಟೋಟಲ್ ತಗೋತೀವಿ. ಮೂರದ್ದು ಟೋಟಲ್ ಎಷ್ಟು? 2,60,000 into 4%. So amount realized ಎಷ್ಟು? Amount realized on 4% on amount realized amount to 10,400. Then B 2% on amount distributed to amount given to unsecured creditors and preferential creditors. So ಇದನ್ನ ಆಮೇಲೆ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ವಿ ಟೇಕ್ secured charges ಯಾವುದು ಇಲ್ಲ. Then we take preferential creditors. Preferential creditors are 50,000. So once you take preferential creditors, the final amount will belong to unsecured creditors. So this will be the balancing figure. So now how do you calculate 2% on amount given to unsecured creditors and preferential creditors? You take the total amount realized 2,60,000 minus you make the payment of these three, 1,60,000, 1,70,400, 1,70,400. So 2,60,000 minus 1,70,400 is 89,600 into 2 by 102. ಮಾಡಿದವಾಗ you get a commission of 1,757. So this is the commission paid on 2%. Then you find out the balancing figure. So you take the total of the debit and left hand side, then subtract it from the right hand side. So 2,60,000 minus 1,50,000 minus 20,400 minus 1757 minus 50,000, you get 39,425. So when you subtract all these, you get 37,843. I'm sorry, I told the wrong amount. After subtracting 37,843. So that is the balancing figure, and then you close the liquidator's final statement. 2,60,000. Total 2,60,000. Now you can verify whether you have done as right or wrong. How do you verify? This is not required. You will just do verification for your checking purposes. That's all. Now they have given commission is remuneration is 2% on amount to unsecured creditors plus preferential creditors. How much are you paying to unsecured creditors? You found out the balancing figure, 37,843 plus how much is the unsecured, how much is the preferential creditors? 50,000. So if you add, you get 87,843. Now if you directly do 2%, you will get a commission of rupees 1,757. So that time you did not know this amount. Since you did not know this amount and this amount, you had to do 2 by 102 with the balancing figure. So you get this amount, then you get this amount balancing figure. Now you can verify whether your liquidator's remuneration is right or wrong. Now you can do directly 2%, but here you have to remember, you have to do 2 divided by 102 because you don't know two balances. So mathematically, if you do 2 divided by 102, you will get a liquidator's remuneration of 1,757. Let's take up one more problem. The Unlucky Limited went into voluntary liquidation on 31st March 2023 and the position was as follows. They are given equity share capital, loan which is secured, so it's a secured loan. Loan amount is 1 lakh. Then you have unsecured liabilities of 2 lakhs. In that, preferential creditors are 10,000. So we will show both unsecured liabilities and preferential creditors separately, because finally the balancing figure will belong to unsecured liabilities because the amount will not be sufficient to go till the equity shareholders. Now on the asset side, you have many assets. You have land and building, fixed assets, stock, debtors, loan, cash, and then you have a loss of rupees 1,10,000. The land and buildings were realized by secured creditors. The amount is rupees 1,20,000. So the land and buildings is secured for your loan. Then other fixed assets realized rupees 40,000. Then other fixed assets have realized rupees 40,000. Then debtors of 20, stock realized 10,000, loan is fully bad, liquidator is entitled to a fixed remuneration of rupees 1,000 and 2% on the amount paid to unsecured creditors. So liquidators out of pocket expenses, so liquidation expenses has come up to rupees 1,000 and the company has decided to make calls on shares and they have received the entire call amount. So first you write all the receipts. So what is the amount realized? First amount you need not realize, you have cash balance. So how much is the cash balance? You have a cash balance of rupees 5,000. So this is your cash balance. Then let's write all the assets realized. Now the first asset which was realized given in the question is land and building. The land and building is realized by secured creditors is 1,20,000. When you sold land and buildings, you got 1,20,000. But the loan amount is only 1 lakh. The loan amount is 1 lakh. Instead of writing credit side 1 lakh, debit side 1 lakh, you can directly write surplus realized from land and building. You can also write it on the debit side 1,20,000 and the credit side 1 lakh. You will get the same answer. But you can also write the surplus realized from land and building. You have realized 1,20,000, but the loan amount is only 1 lakh. So you have a surplus of rupees 20,000. So this is your land and building realized. Then assets realized, we will take one by one all the assets. Fixed assets realized amount is 40,000 given in the question in the adjustment. Then debtors realized 20,000. Then stock realized rupees 10,000. Stock realized rupees 10,000. So these are the amount which you've realized. Also they have given the company decided to make a calls on shares and you've received the same in full. So if you look at the share capital, the company has a share capital of 5,000, equity shares of 100 each, only 80 paid up. So remaining uncalled capital is rupees 20. 100 minus 80, rupees 20. So calls received, you have received the call amount of rupees 20 on 5,000 equity shares. So the total amount you have realized is rupees 1 lakh. So these are the total receipts: 1 lakh, 20,000, 10,000, 20, 40 and 5,000. So the total amount realized comes up to 1,95,000. Check the total: 1 lakh, 1 lakh 20, 1 lakh 30, 1 lakh 50, 1 lakh 90, 1 lakh 95,000. This is the total amount realized. Now let me write the payments here. So the payments made. The first payment which you need to make is towards secured creditors, which we've already deducted in the debit side only, so we will not take that. Then we will take liquidation expense. So liquidation expense is 1,000. Then liquidator is paid two types of remuneration in this problem. The first remuneration which the liquidator is paid is the fixed amount which they have given in the question. How much is the fixed amount? The fixed amount is rupees 1,000. Then B, he is paid a remuneration of 2% on unsecured creditors plus preferential creditors. Unsecured creditors plus, because unsecured liabilities including 10% preferential creditors. So we will give both on unsecured creditors plus preferential creditors. You have to calculate it later on. So the formula will be 2 divided by 102 into whatever balancing figure you get. So once you write the unsecured commission, then you will write preferential creditors. Preferential creditors amount is 10,000, which you will not consider for calculating liquidators remuneration. Then you have unsecured creditors, which will be the final balancing figure. So now you need to calculate this amount. So how will you get this amount? I am calculating over here. Total receipts. You have a total receipt of 1,95,000 minus your charges, liquidators expenses plus remuneration. So which is 1000 plus 1000, 2000. So we will be calculating remuneration on 1,93,000. We will be calculating remuneration on 1,93,000. So I will write this 1,93,000 over here. So 1,93,000 into 2 divided by 102. 3784. So this is your commission. Next you can write the balancing figure for unsecured creditors. Take the left hand side total 1,95,000 minus your 2000 minus 3784 minus 10,000. So 1,79,216. So this is your balancing figure. Now you can verify. Not required, but you can just verify. What is the commission they have told? Remuneration they have told to the liquidator, 2% on unsecured creditors plus preferential creditors. So 2% on unsecured creditors is, you have the balancing figure 1,79,216 plus preferential creditors 10,000. So 2% on 1,89,216 into 2%. Directly you will do 2 divided by 100. You will get a commission of, remuneration of 3784, which we've already calculated. This is just verification purpose. That's all. So total 1,95,000. So this is how you do your liquidator's final statement. So the main thing you need to do in this particular chapter, from the examination point of view, Bengaluru City University examination point of view, is you need to prepare liquidator's final statement. So for which I have already given you the format, refer the format, memorize the format, and then make the payments as per the format only. You have to make all the payments with respect to the order in which they have given as per the format. So if you prepare that form, the only calculation which you need to do is to calculate the liquidator's remuneration. I hope you've understood whatever I have done in this video. For more videos, keep waiting. We will come up with more and more videos with respect to all those topics which you might feel difficult in understanding in your respective classrooms. Thank you very much for listening. God bless all.